I was cooking breakfast when my SIL threw my laptop on the floor. "This is our house. You work when we say," she yelled. My wife said nothing. My work files, gone. My clients, gone. I stared at the mess and said nothing. But the hidden camera on the shelf captured everything, and what I uploaded next. Her name's Taylor. She was supposed to stay, just until she got back on her feet. That was the exact phrase Megan, my wife, used. That was 6 months ago. At first, I didn't mind. We had space. Megan and I live in a decent 3-bedroom house in Tacoma. I work from home. I'm a freelance web developer. I use a MacBook Pro for everything: client meetings, coding, invoicing. It's my lifeline. I had everything on that laptop. Things with Taylor got weird around month 2. She started acting like she owned the place. I'd hear her talking to Megan, saying stuff like, "He just stays home all day," or "How hard can his job really be?" I ignored it. I thought she'd leave soon. But she didn't. She started controlling little things. The thermostat. The TV. She'd take over the kitchen whenever she wanted. I'd be in meetings and she'd blast music. She even borrowed my noise-canceling headphones once and never gave them back. Megan said, "She's just stressed." I let it go. Then came Tuesday morning. I was up early making breakfast. Bacon, eggs, toast. My laptop was open on the dining room table. I got a Slack ping from a big client. Needed a fix fast. I started typing, then ran to the stove to flip the bacon. And that's when I heard the sound. Loud. Sharp. Like someone slammed a glass bottle on the floor. I turned and saw my laptop lying face down. I walked over and flipped it. The screen was destroyed. Parts of it were cracked off. It was dead. Then Taylor walked in with this smug look on her face. "I told you not to set your crap everywhere," she said. "This isn't your office." I couldn't even breathe. "This is our house," she said louder. "You work when we say. You don't just take over." I looked at her, then looked at Megan, who had just come downstairs. She stood behind Taylor. She didn't say anything. "Are you serious?" I asked them. Taylor nodded. Megan didn't even meet my eyes. I said, "This is my house. I pay the mortgage." Taylor laughed. "No, sweetie. You married into it. This is Megan's home. Always has been." I looked at Megan. She said nothing. That's when I knew. They wanted me out. Or at least under their control. But what they didn't know is I'd installed a hidden camera in the bookshelf facing the dining room table. I'd caught Taylor yelling at me before, and I wanted proof in case things got worse. Well, now I had it. Everything she said. Everything she did. Megan's silence. All on camera. I said nothing to them. I went to the garage. Dug up my old Chromebook. Slower than hell, but it worked. I got into my cloud storage and uploaded the footage. Then I started making quiet moves. First, I called a friend from college who now works in IT security. Told him I needed help restoring deleted local files, maybe get some of the work back. Next, I reached out to 2 clients and explained I was having a tech issue. Didn't give details. Just asked for some patience. Then I contacted my lawyer. Because here's the kicker, my name is the only one on the mortgage. Megan never put herself on it. Said she didn't need to. They really didn't know who they were messing with. Over the next few days, I acted normal. I didn't bring up the laptop. I didn't say a word about the camera footage. I made small talk. I did the dishes. I smiled when Megan asked if I was feeling better. I wasn't. But I wanted them to think I was. I slept in the guest room after that. Said it was because of stress. Megan didn't fight it. She acted like nothing had happened. Like her sister hadn't just destroyed my work life. Taylor kept pushing. She started saying weird things to me in front of Megan, like, you should start looking for jobs outside the house, or maybe it's time to pull your weight differently. Megan never disagreed. She just nodded. Like they'd talked about it before. I knew then they were planning something. Then on Thursday, I got a notice from one of my biggest clients. They were backing out. They couldn't wait for the project delay. That one hit hard. I told Megan. She barely reacted. Just said, that sucks. That same night, I saw Taylor using my office chair. In my office. Feet up on the desk. Megan had given her temporary access so she could job search. I walked out of the room before I did something I'd regret. But it got worse. That weekend, Megan's parents came over. Her dad barely looked at me. Her mom, Diane, sat down next to me and said, maybe this living situation isn't working for you, huh? That's when I realized, Taylor had been turning the whole family against me. Painting me as some lazy guy who sat home all day and used Megan. The real twist? On Sunday night, I heard Megan and Taylor talking in the kitchen. I stayed quiet behind the wall. Taylor said, he's going to leave eventually. Just give it time. Megan said, I'm not divorcing him until the refinance goes through. Once I get the house in my name, he's out. I stood there frozen. All those years together. I helped her through school. I worked nights to pay bills while she chased her teaching degree. I gave up a full-time office job so I could support her when she got sick last year. And now she was planning to take the house and dump me? But they didn't know what I had. I waited until they were both asleep. Then I uploaded the footage to a private YouTube link, unlisted. I sent it to my lawyer, labeled and time-stamped. I also downloaded the audio from their conversation in the kitchen that night, recorded on the same camera. I called the bank the next morning and froze any attempts to refinance without my signature. I changed all my passwords. I locked my credit. I started collecting every receipt and document I had about the house, bills, everything I'd paid for. That same day, Megan told me we needed to talk. I nodded. But I had plans too. When Megan said we needed to talk, I knew something was coming. We sat at the kitchen table, the same one where my laptop used to sit before it got destroyed. She looked tired, like she'd rehearsed this in her head already. Taylor stood behind her with her arms crossed, like some backup enforcer. Megan said, we think it's best if you take some time away from the house. Just to clear your head. I didn't answer. I just stared at her. She went on. We talked about it. You've been stressed, work's falling apart, and we don't think this environment is healthy right now. I said, this environment? You mean my house? Taylor laughed. Actually laughed. You're not well, dude. That was the line that almost made me lose it. But I kept my cool. I said, okay. Just like that. No fight. No yelling. Just walked upstairs, packed a bag with a few clothes and my old Chromebook, and left. But I didn't go far. I checked into a cheap extended stay hotel just outside of Tacoma. Nothing fancy, but it had decent Wi-Fi. I set up shop there. Then I got to work. I took screenshots of everything I had, footage, audio clips, bank documents, Megan's texts from the past 6 months. I had them all backed up through our shared cloud. I organized it all. A full digital folder labeled, just in case. Then I met with my lawyer in person. Showed him everything. He looked at me and said, you've got enough to ruin both of them. I wasn't smiling. I didn't feel good. I felt numb. But I wasn't done yet. I reached out to 3 of Megan's old friends. People she hadn't talked to in a while. I'd always gotten along with them, and I was honest. I told them what was happening. Sent them a couple clips. Nothing crazy, just enough to show what Taylor and Megan were doing. Word traveled fast. By Friday, Megan's social circle was buzzing. One of her friends, Carla, texted me, "I can't believe she'd do this to you. She was always jealous of how much you supported her." Then, another twist hit. I got an email from an old client, one I hadn't heard from in over a year. Said he saw my name in a Reddit thread someone linked him to. Apparently, Taylor had been talking online, venting about her lazy brother-in-law freeloading in their house. Didn't name me directly, but enough details matched. She'd been smearing me publicly. I had screenshots of that too now. And just when I thought I had enough, I got a tip from someone I didn't expect. It was Megan's cousin, Riley. We'd barely talked before. But he sent me a DM on Instagram and said, "Hey, I thought you should know. Taylor's been staying at other people's houses too. Always for a couple weeks, always drama after." He sent me photos. Screenshots. One house she stayed in last year, they said she broke a guy's TV during a fight and claimed it was her right because she was family. Pattern confirmed. This wasn't just personal. Taylor had done this to other people too. She had a method. Move in, manipulate, turn people against each other, cause damage. Now I had the full picture. I wasn't just going to defend myself. I was going to flip the whole damn script. I spent 2 more nights in that hotel. Quiet. Focused. No distractions. Every second felt heavy. But I knew the moment was close. I didn't tell Megan I was coming back. I just showed up. Sunday morning, 8:03 a.m. I walked into the house using my key. Taylor was on the couch wearing one of Megan's robes, eating cereal, watching a reality show. She looked up at me like I was a stranger. "You're not supposed to be here," she said. I ignored her. Walked straight to the kitchen. Megan was sitting at the counter with a coffee in hand. She looked surprised. Not scared. Just annoyed. I set my phone down and pressed play. The audio of their conversation from earlier that week filled the room. Taylor's voice, "He's going to leave eventually. Just give it time." Megan, "I'm not divorcing him until the refinance goes through. Once I get the house in my name, he's out." Megan's face turned white. Taylor dropped her spoon into the bowl. I looked at them both. "You played the long game. I just played it better." Then I opened my laptop and started the slideshow. Footage from the bookshelf camera. Taylor yelling. The laptop smashing. Megan watching and doing nothing. I handed them each a copy of the formal notice I had printed, my lawyer's letterhead at the top. "I've frozen the refinance. Legally, you can't move forward without my approval. You forged a few papers, Megan. You know what that means." Megan's mouth opened. Nothing came out. I turned to Taylor. "And you've admitted on multiple public forums to vandalism, harassment, and manipulation. I saved every post. You've got a reputation now." I stepped back. "I also spoke to your last 3 landlords. They're happy to give written statements." Taylor stood up. "You're bluffing." I smiled for the first time in days. "Try me." Then I dropped the final card. "I've sent a secure folder to multiple people. If anything happens to me or any more of my things, the footage and files go public." You think Megan's school district wants to see how she stood by and let someone destroy her husband's business? Or that she plotted to steal a house from the man who paid the bills for 5 years? Dead silence. I walked over to the couch and picked up the remote. "Here's what's going to happen. Taylor, you have 48 hours to get your stuff and leave. If you're not out, I'm filing a restraining order. Megan, you and I are separating. I'm filing this week. The house goes up for sale right after. Half the money goes to me. If you fight that, we go public. Megan looked like she might cry. Please, don't do this. You already did, I said. I just pressed record. And I wasn't done. The next week, I posted one clip anonymously to a private client-only Slack group. Just Taylor smashing the laptop and yelling. No names, no faces. Just enough to show why I was rebuilding. Clients reached out. They offered me grace. 2 even sent bonus payments to help me buy a new laptop. I moved out after filing. Rented a small place downtown. Focused on rebuilding my business. Taylor tried to deny everything, until her Reddit post history was exposed. She deleted her account. People from her past started commenting on those old threads. Her smear campaign had backfired. Megan? Her school district found out anyway. One of her friends shared the clip. They launched an internal review. Nothing illegal, but enough to hurt her professional image. Parents talked. Reputation? Gone. The house sold 4 months later. I got 62% of the profits after my lawyer showed the court every receipt and proof of payment I'd made over the years. Megan didn't fight it. She didn't have the energy anymore. Last I heard, Taylor was couch hopping again. Megan moved in with their aunt. Me? I started fresh. Got a newer place. Rebuilt my client base. Bought a backup drive. 2, actually. And I still have the bookshelf camera. Sometimes, I still replay that moment when they heard their own voices turned against them. That's the day I stopped being quiet. That's the day I took it all back.